Hi, my name's Jeff, and I normally at this time of year would come into your class in year 6 along with some friends, Chloe and Callum and a lady called Sue perhaps, and we would take a lesson with you. We'd give you a book, a copy of a book called It's Your Move, which is a book all about moving up to high school. And this is a strange year, and so as we probably can't come into your classroom, we decided we'd want to make sure that you got a hold of this book still, and that we'd make a short video to introduce ourselves and to tell you a couple of things in it. So I hope you enjoy it all.
Hey guys, so my name's Callum, I'm one of the youth workers at New Life Church as well. And so I have the pleasure normally of giving you guys this book in person, but sadly we can't be there, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about this book, and about who I am, and about what we do. So firstly, this book, It's Your Move, absolutely awesome. We've probably looked at some of the questions already, Chloe's probably shown you some of the questions, but I just want to tell you there is so much more in this book. There is word searches, there is like at the very back over here, I can't find it. We've got stories, we've got people's personal stories of going up to high school. There is so much in this book, and this is a gift from Churches Together Congleton, just for you guys. So these books are kind of for free for you. So that's awesome. So what do we do? Well, if any of you guys are going to Congleton High School or Eton Bank Academy, you're probably going to see quite a few of the faces you've seen on this video today. We go in on a weekly basis normally. We get to do something called the listening service. That's where if anybody wants to chat, come and chat to us. We listen and we will talk back. It's fun, it's just a communication, just a conversation. What else do? We do assemblies. I think you guys know what assemblies are. We do different clubs, so just if you guys see us around the school, feel free to wave and have a conversation with us. We'd love to get to know you guys, get to know your names. Obviously we can't see you today, but we'd love to get to know you guys in high school. And so, yeah, that's what we do. I'm Callum. This is your new book. So please go through it, and when you see us in high school, give us a big wave. Goodbye.
Hello Year 6s, I hope you're having a really good day. It is so nice to be with you, even though this is a little bit different. But my name's Chloe and I am a youth and children's worker at New Life Church. Some of you may have seen me around your school before, for assemblies or for Bible Explorer, but today we're having a little bit of a think about your move to high school. Now this may be something that you're having mixed feelings about. So we're going to have a little bit of a think about what's coming up. So hopefully you've all got one of these It's Your Move books. I'd like to point you in the direction of page 9, which is all about big questions. And as the book explains, 781 children in the UK were asked 3 big questions about their move to secondary school. So we're going to have a little bit of a think about these questions and what your answers might be. So the first question is, what will you miss most about your old school? So if you turn over the page, it's got some example answers of how the children answered this question. So what will you miss most about your old school? Some said they'd miss the sport, some said they'd miss their teachers, some said they'd miss being the oldest, or they'd miss their friends. And some of your friends might be going to different high schools, so that might be something that you're feeling. And then the second question, what is the scariest thing about your new school? So again, lots of different answers to this question. Some are scared about being the youngest at the school or the smallest. Some are scared of their new teachers. Some are scared about the size of the school or the amount of homework they're going to get. Quite a lot are scared of getting lost. And then 29% of the children who were asked this question said that they're scared of the older children and being bullied. So if you flick a few pages forward in your book, there is a section of top 40 survival tips. And if you find tip number 13, this is all about bullying. And it says, there's no excuse for bullying. If you think you're being bullied, or someone you know is, and that includes cyberbullying online or via your phone, don't let it go on. Tell someone. So tell a teacher, a parent or a carer, or an adult that you can trust. And there's even more advice on page 51. So if this is something that you're worried about, and it does affect you at high school, I do encourage you to tell someone, because there is help available. And then the third question, what is the best thing about your new school? So lots of different answers to this one too. A lot are looking forward to making new friends, and I think that's definitely something to look forward to. Some said new subjects and different teachers. Some said better facilities. Some said a fresh start and a new challenge. So lots of different answers to these three questions. But what I'd encourage you to do is to have a think about your answers to those three questions. So what will you miss most about your old school? What is the scariest thing about your new school? And what is the best thing about your new school? So I encourage you to have a think about your answers to those questions, and you may find that they're similar to your friends' responses, or they might be completely different. And some of you might be feeling different things about your move to high school. Some of you might be really excited. Some of you might be really worried. And some of you might have feelings of both. And that's okay, because it is a new challenge and it's a little bit unknown. But I encourage you to have a think about those questions, and especially to think about what you're looking forward to, because there are so many things to be looking forward to about going to high school. And you might even see me around your new high school if you go to Congleton High or Eton Bank. I go in with Callum and with Sue, sometimes for assemblies, sometimes for listening service. So do have a look out for us, and if you see us, feel free to come over, say hi, have a chat if you'd like to, because we'd love to speak to you. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you at high school. Take care, everyone.
So I hope that you would just take this book away. It's a book that is given to you, sponsored by the Churches Together in Congleton. And we want you to have the very best experience moving up to high school that you can. And so that's why we want you to have this. So you'll have heard from Chloe, and you'll have heard from Callum as well, some of the things that they would want to tell you about moving up to high school. And I wanted to just share something that I would normally share in the lesson to you, which is a bit of an object lesson, a bit of science or magic, depending on what you feel. So here it is. I'm going to tell you some things about myself. Here's a nice bowl. It's just got water in it. Nice clean water, nice pure water there, you know. I'm going to tell you about some of the things that happened when I was growing up. So I don't know if you've got a brother or a sister at home. You might have. Okay. Well, I'm sure in your house it's always peaceful. There's never an argument. So sometimes there are arguments, aren't there? When you've got a brother or a sister or more than that. So yeah, I have a sister who I love dearly. But when we were growing up, we didn't always get along, and I was sometimes quite mean to her. And it came out like this. You know, when there's one piece of cake left, and what is it, you know, I want that piece of cake. There's one piece of cake left. I'm the biggest, I'm the eldest, I should have it. I want the cake. And then you can have an argument, can't you? And it all comes from selfishness. This is a little bottle of selfishness. There you are, add a bit of selfishness into that. Other things I do, sometimes I just wouldn't let my sister join in with our games, and even if she wanted to, and I'd just be mean to her like that. Sometimes I might hide her Barbies so she couldn't find them. Oh, Jeffrey, have you seen my Barbies? No, I haven't. That's just mean. Don't do that. Who would do that? What about friends? What sort of friends do you hang around with? What sort of friend are you? Because I had a friend, I'll say he was a friend, but he always used to get me into trouble, doing things I oughtn't to do. And I remember one holiday, we didn't have any pocket money, and it was, we were a bit bored, and my friend dared me. He said, oh, it'd be nice to have some sweets, wouldn't it? I haven't got any money, but why don't you go into Mr. Bert's shop, and why don't you steal us some sweets? I dare you. Okay, and because he dared me, and because I was a bit stupid, naive, gullible, I said, all right then, gonna. And so in I went into Mr. Bert's shop, Okay, and I put my hood up because you feel a bit more invisible when you've got your hood up, don't you? But you're not. I put my hood up, okay, and I was just reaching out for a Milky Way. There it was, I've got the Milky Way in my hand and it was going in my pocket. And as I was about to put that chocolate bar into my pocket, Mr. Burt grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and he gave me a shake and took me to the door. He said, I'm going to tell your mother of you, and if you ever do that again, I'm going to call the police. That ended my life of crime there. Didn't rob another shop, no, but stealing, that's not good, is it? And of course I didn't confess it to my mum. I didn't go and say, oh mum, I've been naughty and I got caught. No, I waited until Mr. Burt told my mum and things, and so that's when I got told off, didn't I, and things. But maybe telling lies and things, that's not good. And you can see the effect that this is having. My character, myself, all these nasty things going on inside me. Another thing that happened, when I did go up to high school, we took German, doing a German test. And you know when you're doing a test, you've got to, keep yourself to yourself, not look at other people's work and things like that. Well, I was struggling. I didn't know what the German word for window was. But I was sat next to Stephen, my mate. I thought, he'll know what the answer is. And so I cheated, didn't I? I put a bit in there, cheated. I had a little look over. And I saw what he'd written, and so I wrote what he'd written. Cheating, that's not a good thing. No, not at all. So I cheated on that, and the problem was that Stephen didn't know what the German word for window was either. And so we both got in trouble, we got busted. And of course, I wasn't then going to say, oh yeah, that was me. Let Stephen off scot-free because I was the one who cheated and he had nothing to do with it. No, so I sort of was not really a very good friend there. I lied to the teacher. I messed up and look what happened to me. I do lots of other things. Sometimes I'm just dead moody. If I am, feed me. But, if we think about it, we do lots of things which are selfish. We do lots of things that are not loving and are not kind. But there came a time when I was told about Jesus too. And so this cross signifies Jesus. And I was told that if I come and I pray to Jesus, if I speak to him and I ask for him to forgive me for my sin, then he'll forgive me. And that's exactly what I did. I was told that this would be a way, or this is the way to a relationship with God. And so I actually came and I prayed. Because I realised, I knew that there were things in me that weren't right. And I asked, I said, would you come into my life? Jesus, would you please forgive me? Forgive me for my sin. Forgive me for the things that I've done which have hurt people and have hurt you and upset you. And I believe that I am forgiven. You see, this wonderful change took place in me. And now I know things don't have any power over me anymore. No, I am forgiven for them because I've brought them to God. And I've said, would you please forgive me? And I am forgiven. Now, that doesn't make me perfect. I still do some things. Sometimes I'm still moody. Sometimes I still say things which are nasty. But do you know what? If I do that and if I come to God and I say, Jesus, please will you forgive me? If I confess that I've done wrong, then I am forgiven. And so I know that Jesus lives in me, lives with me today and every day and forgives me every time that I come to him. So I hope that maybe you'll learn from some of my mistakes. I hope that also maybe you'll consider what I say about Jesus as well. Coming to pray to Jesus is just as easy as speaking to anybody else, really. He hears when we speak to him. That's what prayer is. That's what I believe. And so I just want to leave you with that, and I pray that's an encouragement to you. And finally, I'd like to pray for you. Just a prayer about going up to high school, if that's okay with you. And if you want to make it your prayer, then just say Amen at the end. Heavenly Father, I thank you for these dear friends of ours who we've sadly not been able to meet in class, but I know that they're going up to high school soon, and these are strange days. I pray, Father, that any fears, any worries they may have, you would bring them peace over. I pray that what they're excited about going up to high school, you would really bless them with. I pray that you would help them to make good friends and to be good friends and to do the very best in moving up to high school with a good attitude and with a real feeling of strength in these days. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.